Hey everyone, I'm Pion and welcome to Pion's Perspective. Let's talk a little bit about the newest Strife patch, version 0.2.37. It's not too big of a patch, but there are some important points to talk about anyway, so let's get started. First one is the new hero. She's called Blazer. She's a stealth hero and she seems to be quite fun to play and a good addition to the mix. I'm not a big fan of stealth play in general, but we don't have too much of that yet in Strife, so this might be interesting. New skins, a new Spectator UI. This is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to use this to spectate games and cast games and stuff like that. Pretty good. Swap minimap feature. Some people wanted that, so there you go. And arcade text. Multi-kills are much more exciting with brand new arcade text. They look actually they look pretty cool. So thumbs up. Physics integration, good thing as well, I guess. So biggest point in this patch: mana regeneration. 3 points actually. First one, all heroes have had their mana regeneration slightly reduced in the early game and increased in the late game. Before this patch, mana regeneration was flat. Now it scales with level. On level 1 you have around 20% less mana regeneration than you had before. On level 15 you have around 20% more. On level 8 or 9 you have around the same value as you had before. Out of combat mana regeneration has been increased by 0.6 mana per second. There's a buff right now, you always get these 0.6 mana per second more than you're used to, but this will be fixed soon, I suppose. And the third point is mana regeneration provided by items has been reduced by 10% across the board. So what is this doing? S2 tries to change the laning phase meta. The meta so far is very sustain based. The reason for that is that you are able to harass non-stop. So far what you were doing is you buy as many mana regeneration items as you need to spam your skills non-stop, and then you do exactly that. You keep the harass up, which forces the enemy to get a good sustain, and made items like sustain items like the Cleric Shell is super strong and very important. The laning phase kinda boring though because of that. So changing the mana regeneration in multiple aspects changes this around. Basically what this does is it makes mana regeneration items less efficient for two reasons. They are less, or for three reasons. They are less efficient because they give 10% less mana regeneration. B, you don't get to the level of mana regeneration to spam consistently early now anyway, or you get harder. It's harder to get there because you have less mana in the early game. And C, your mana regeneration items scale less in the late game because you need less mana regeneration late because you have more, thanks to the first change. And buffing out of combat regeneration really drives is the last tick on that, and the idea basically is that you stop buying so many mana regeneration item and instead be a little bit more conservative with your mana, spam less, take a break from time to time, get your regeneration going, and do exactly that. And this might change up the laning phase a little bit. I'm not sure if these changes are enough yet, but it's a good step in the right direction, and we will see how it plays out. So this was the biggest point. Some more things to talk about though. The teleport boots got changed a bit. They do a ping now every time you use them, and their effect is colored by your team color, which is pretty good. Claudessa's Dragon's Reach is easier to see now, which is quite good, I think. And the last thing we have to talk about is the Ether Beam by Trixie. It is now cancelled by stuns and hexes. This is good for two reasons. A, it's a nerf, and Trixie felt a little too strong, so nerfing her is a good idea. And B, it was super unintuitive that you could not stop this skill by a stun or a hex, because stuns and hexes stop everything in this game. Why not this skill? Now they do. Thumbs up. So that actually wraps up the patch. So pretty small one, but some good ideas in it. I'm looking forward to try it out a little bit more over the week, and thanks a lot for watching. Have fun and see you next time.